beans, white rice, lettuce, guacamole, jalapenos. And I think that was pretty much it, just because you guys know I keep the burritos vegan. But what's up, guys? Today is Thursday, so happy Thursday. What are you guys doing this weekend? I hope you just enjoyed hearing about my lunch, because I enjoyed having it. We had the Ted Jones Comedy Show on Monday, and that went fantastically, guys. It was a crazy day on Monday, because I'm sure, as you guys know, there was no Facebook, no WhatsApp, and no Instagram for about 7 hours. Or when I first realized it, I posted on my Instagram, Ted Jones World, the flyer for that show on Monday night. We always have a great time at the Ted Jones comedy shows. And during the week, guys, we usually keep those comedy shows anywhere from like an hour and 10 to an hour and 20 minutes. If it's like a later show on the Saturday night, maybe those shows will be like an hour and 30 minutes to an hour and 40 minutes, anywhere from 5 to 8 or 9 comics. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to give you guys too much of the secret sauce and let you guys in behind the scenes. Just kidding, whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, that's behind my Patreon wall. But guys, don't worry about it. I give you all the freaking goods here for free. Next Ted Jones Comedy Show, Monday, October 8th, 7 p.m. You guys check the link in my Instagram bio, Ted Jones World, or the link in this YouTube video. We have the description. Just click on that and you'll see the lineup, an amazing lineup. And if you guys can't make it to that show, you'll come to the Halloween show that we have October 30th, Saturday night, 12 a.m., midnight. That's going to be a crazy show. I have an idea for what I want my costume to be, but I'm still debating between a few of them, just because I'm going all over the place. You know, should I be a guy in an inflatable penis suit? Should I be James Bond? Should I be a tuxedo guy, which I guess would be James Bond? Should I be a cross-dresser? Should I be a hamburger? Whatever it is. Obviously, be a Beyond Burger, a vegan burger. But I got so many ideas in my head. If you guys have any suggestions of what you want to see me be for Halloween, a.k.a. on that night of the show, October 30th at 12 a.m., let me know, tedjonesworld@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you guys, because I've got a lot of thoughts in my head. And if we had a vote or, you know, a preference for what you guys want to see me be, I would love to hear it. Okay, I've been watching the show Impeachment on FX. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it yet, but it's a story based on Monica Lewinsky and her relationship with former President Bill Clinton. And Monica Lewinsky had a close friend, like an ally that she considered to be an ally, Linda Tripp. And I'm at the part right now where Linda is spilling the beans to the press that one of her very good friends is having an affair with Bill Clinton. It's crazy how some people are just so narcissistic that they need the headlines to say their name, even if it's in such a negative light. This lady just wanted attention, you know, and you can tell by how she acts and how she carries herself. It's not good. So don't be this woman, but check out that show. It's actually a good show. It's on FX, Impeachment. But would I recommend it? I definitely. When we're posting the vlog from that Ted Jones Comedy Show on Monday. So you guys check out the YouTube channel where you're watching this, hopefully right now, or if you're listening on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, what's up? Check out that YouTube description, Ted Jones World. And we will also have, like I just said, that show from Monday on the vlog tomorrow. So you guys get a little sneak peek of that highlight reel. Make sure you get to the next show. Today, I am seeing a trainer, or later tonight, I should say. So I'm probably going to do a few vlog scenes in that, which will come out on Tuesday. So I'm pumped about that. I haven't been to a trainer or seen a trainer in months. As you guys know, I'm up pretty early working out by myself, but it'll be exciting to get in the mix with a trainer. It's always good to have somebody who's like a professional working with you on something, even if you don't, fully need help. They can help you push past failure and such, which is always a good thing to be doing during a workout. I wonder how much of the Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp outage had to do with the whistleblower. As if you guys don't know, there was a huge Facebook whistleblower, a woman who worked for the company, was scanning thousands of paper before she quit the company, just to prove that Facebook really is not so worried about the messages that they portray, in terms of if people are spewing hate. They don't really mind it. It's all about driving revenue. And it's crazy to think, like, when you become such a big company, like $1 trillion company or whatever it is, it's got to be tough to see or look for, okay, this is what I got to do for good, or this is what I got to do to raise profits. Just because, like, at a time when you reach such a huge valuation, you have so many shareholders, stocks, you got a lot of stuff to worry about. But guys, I feel like it's hard to keep your head on straight when your company's worth that much and you have responsibility to a lot of other people. You know what I mean? So has Facebook become too big for its britches? Maybe, but people could also say the same thing about Amazon. But Amazon isn't really giving a message to the public, are they? Or rather sharing a message to the public. They're just selling product. When Facebook, you can share so many messages through that app. You know what I mean? And also through WhatsApp, through Instagram and Facebook. It's a social media platform. When Amazon is just like a delivery platform, you know? So while Amazon is a bigger company than Facebook, I can see that once a company becomes super big, I mean, maybe you do gotta break it up. You know, like, how big is too big, and when is enough enough? You know, like you saw Facebook go down, and it really impacted the entire world. I didn't have to use WhatsApp, but I imagine a number of you use the messaging app WhatsApp, and you couldn't reach people for 7 hours. How many meetings were messed up, or how many people didn't get in contact with people when they needed to. And the thing is, you can never really know when the app is down unless you Google it or search it. You know, it's not like you're going to get a message from Facebook or from one of the other apps like, by the way, we have an outage. You know, you have to Google, is Facebook down? And then, yeah, you'd see all these articles. You'd see that Twitter is really the only social media app at that particular time that was firing off, being like, Facebook is like, or those memes, you guys know what I'm talking about, Instagram be like, or something like that. But it was crazy. Even for Facebook to be down for 7 hours doesn't seem like that much, but a lot of people rely on Facebook and the companies that they have under their umbrella. They were saying that it was the largest outage since 2008. So 13 years, and we haven't had an outage like that. Little sus that it was, you know, a day after the leak of all these documents from this whistleblower in Facebook, and also a coincidence that it was on the day of a Ted Jones comedy show, so that was a jam. But I imagine we will never have this issue again, especially on the day of the show. Guys, come to the next show next Monday, not this Monday, October 18, 7 p.m. Check the tickets in this YouTube video or check the link in my Instagram video. Also, we're putting the links here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. You guys see it right there. Click on that link and you'll see all the amazing performers that we have. I cannot wait. Every show at the Stand has been amazing. Bad weather, good weather, no Facebook, Instagram, no Instagram. It's been fantastic. Couldn't ask for anything better. And then, guys, at all the shows, we're throwing out T-shirts. All right? So you come to the show, chances of you guys getting a T-shirt is solid. You know, throwing out like 2 or 3 shirts a show. So you come to the show, hopefully you'll get a T-shirt. Guys, send in your emails, tedjonesworld@gmail.com. We'll read your email here live on air, or not live, or when you're hearing it, you'll hear it on air. That's because I was like, it's live. It's live for me. Maybe it's not live for you guys, but always appreciate the emails coming in. And I like to think that I do give solid advice, regardless of the subject. I'm usually pretty opinionated in one way or another, but I'm not going to make anyone feel uncomfortable here the way I'm spitting facts or spitting opinions. That's just how we're going to do it. It's crazy to me to think that Brian Laundrie has not been found yet. I mean, there whispers and such that he's on the Appalachian Trail, which I know is just forest and hiking trails all over the place. And this guy, I guess, is an avid hiker or an avid, I guess, camper. But the fact that we haven't found him yet is, I don't know, it's a little sus to me. I guess it's been a few weeks since we've been looking for him, huh? What do you guys think ended up happening to him? I mean, is he still alive? You guys think that whoever is saying that he was spotted, do you think that was an accurate spotting? I mean, what's he doing? Like, I don't know. If I accidentally killed someone, how quickly would I try to come forward about that? And once he does get found, like, I mean, he's going to be put in jail for the rest of his life. So what is the move right now? What do you guys think? Let me know. TedJonesWorld@gmail.com. At this point in the search, I mean, he's been running for so long. It's just like, I guess you keep running, right? No matter what, when he gets caught, he's going to be put in jail for the rest of his life. Depending on what state he committed the murder in, maybe he'd be sentenced to death. That's also going to be interesting. You know, like when they do find Brian Laundrie and they want to charge him with the crime, where is the trial going to be? Because some states don't have the death penalty enforced, and then some states do have the death penalty enforced. So I think that's going to be a little bit tricky, figuring out where to charge him with all of these crimes. But either way, he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life, or he's going to be sentenced to death. And I think maybe more so likely he'll probably be put in jail for the rest of his life, because I think that, in my opinion, is more of suffering than just having someone put to death. You know, like suffering in jail for, I don't know, how old is this guy? 24 years old or something like that. I actually want to look up his age and then figure out how many years he would need to be in jail before he'd actually die. But he's 23 years old. What would he be in jail for? I mean, at least the next 50 years, right? That would be torture. It sounds like me that more so is torture than an electric chair or death. You know, if I'm going to spend, it sounds crazy, but like if I'm going to spend 50 years in prison, that kind of is the rest of your life. I couldn't imagine. I'm 29 years old right now. I couldn't imagine spending if I spent 30 years in jail and then plus another 20. Seems tough. We'll see what happens to this guy, but it's crazy that he hasn't been found yet by himself. Definitely not a lot of food. I wonder what he's doing in terms of sleeping. I'm looking on Google here for his age, and it's weird. They have a number of different ages for this guy. I'm seeing that it says he's 23 years old, and then there's like a conspiracy, a few websites that say he's 37 years old, but that age is definitely not correct. The Red Sox and the Yankees played each other last night in the AL wildcard game. I've been following the Yankees sort of for the past 20 years. This season didn't really follow much of the Yankees, but I saw that the pitcher that we gave a 9-year, $324 million deal couldn't even get out of the third inning last night, so he blew the game pretty early. And it's funny how in baseball, like, pitchers can just get lit up all of a sudden. You know, it's like in basketball, if a guy is making north of $35 million a year, you won't see him have a game with like 0 points or something like that. Or it's hard to compare a pitcher, obviously, and a basketball player. But if a basketball player or football player is making $35 million a year, I don't really think that they'd have that disappointing of a game, or a game where they would mess up that much, like a very important game. You know what I mean? But baseball is different, and it's also more difficult for pitchers as it's ever been. I know that when people do watch baseball, what do they want to see the most? Home runs, right? That's why the steroid era was such a good move for baseball. Even if the MLB didn't know that people were on steroids, which I'm sure they did, it was such a boost for the game. You know, like, who didn't want to see Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa have a home run race? Who didn't want to see Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs, or however many home runs he hit? It's more exciting when somebody's up to bat and you're like, oh, is this guy about to hit a bomb into the stands? We'll see. It's not that exciting when a pitcher's striking everyone out. You know, they made the strike zone a little bit smaller, definitely aired out those baseballs a little bit so people can hit it farther, maybe hollowed out those wooden bats so the ball would go a little bit farther. But baseball, a fun sport to play, to watch. I don't know. It's a little slow. Football also is a little bit slow in between plays. You know, like when a pitcher pitches a pitch, from the time that the ball hits the glove of the catcher, so that by the time the pitcher throws it into that catcher's glove, we're not seeing another pitch until like 15 seconds at least from there. So baseball games moving a little bit slow. Should they shorten the baseball season from 182 games to like 130 games? I think so, yes. Baseball guys are on the road all the time, so maybe I'm speaking a little too soon when I'm talking about Garrett Cole blowing the game last night. The guy has to pitch so many times, like it's bound to happen here and there. especially when you're on the road for half the year or maybe even more than that. Basketball has 82 games. Football has 16 right now. So for baseball to have 162 games, that's a lot of games. I'm saying, start with 30 games less, and then maybe these guys will be a little bit more fresh when it comes to the playoffs and such. But they've been playing with 161 games or 162 games, one or the other, for a very long time now. And if I was in the players union, I'd be like, look, you got to pay us all a lot more money or we're not coming out here for literally more than half the year, because that is crazy for us to be doing that. Look at all the other sports. Guys, let's get to a listener email before I start babbling about more stuff. Has anyone else been getting a ton of spam DMs also recently? Like in the past 3 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I've gotten over 20 spam DMs. And by spam, I mean somebody saying, hey, can you please send a message to this other profile? Hey, I see you like crypto. Hey, it's going crazy. Hey, I wanted to approach you about the new NFT launching. Just a whole bunch of nonsense. So stuff that obviously I'm not going to reply to, but I did almost get scammed, as I told you guys last episode. If you didn't hear that yet, I had somebody reach out to me saying that they wanted a 5-minute video sent to them for their fiance for $300. I was into it. I was like, okay, let me just figure out what this person wants. So they wanted me to do just making a video of me making fun of celebrities for 5 minutes, and they were going to send me $300. So obviously I wanted to see the money first. But here's this listener email. So we have John from Hudson Valley, New York. John goes, hey, Ted, I've been seeing this girl for about 2 months now. We haven't made it into New York City, but we've always been talking about it. Besides going to one of your comedy shows, I'm happy that that you mentioned this. What's a good place to go where we can actually have a good time and me not spend a lot of money? This is an interesting question, John, because I have actually always been curious as to where to go to do something free or what is free to do in New York. Walk around Central Park, walk on the West Side Highway, walk on the East River. I'd say walks are underrated. That's what I say. Coffee and a walk. Maybe it's not free, but coffee and a walk ideally would cost you under $10. You walk with somebody for an hour. This is stuff that like I have never really done, and I wish, or maybe I will also do in the future. Instead of trying to take somebody on a date to dinner, it ends up being expensive and it's awkward if you don't want to eat food around somebody else, like you don't want to order nachos or buffalo wings when you're on a date. Or maybe let's say you're not drinking, which I tend to not really like to do, especially during the week. I'd say a walk is a perfect date, especially for like the next month. It'll be a good enough temperature where you can walk outside and be comfortable. Fall is here. Those leaves are all over the trees. Even though it's called fall, wouldn't that mean that fall, all the trees fall off, the leaves? All the leaves fall off the trees? Yeah, that's what happens. But right now, the trees are looking pretty full. So get out there before you lose track of all the leaves on the trees. This is also an interesting one. I just Googled here free things to do in the city. Get lost in the Strand bookstore. This is an interesting place to go in Union Square if you like books. I'm not such a big reader, but I do have a lot of books in my apartment. I definitely have some work to do since I haven't read all of them. That's a cute little activity if you like books. Just a huge bookstore basically for free. And if you also like books, go to the New York Public Library. That is free as well. It says want to impress a first date. Yeah, I guess go to the New York Public Library. That's a good idea, if you both are bookworms, as they say, but I don't know. I've never been to the public library on a date. You can go on the High Line. That's also a good idea for the walking aspect. Visit the MoMA on a Friday between 4 and 8 p.m. That's free. Go on a Chelsea gallery crawl. That's a good idea. Try Thursday night for free wine. Get lost in the West Village. Walk around the West Village. It seems like walking here is the best move for a date. Walking and coffee, I'd say, is like the best way to keep a date cheap. Or maybe like a good taco stand. We were talking about tacos on the top of the episode. We were actually talking about burritos, not tacos, but burritos and tacos in the same family. I feel like they're cousins. Go to a good stand if you know $2 tacos, something like that. That's something that you can walk and talk and do. You know what I mean? Capture the East Village on film. Yes, bring your vlog camera to the East Village. That sounds like something Ted Jones would do. Ride the Staten Island Ferry. I don't know if I've ever even been on the Staten Island Ferry. That could be fun. You know, get your little, time underwater. That could be nice. Check out the Bronx Zoo on a Wednesday. So these are all things that you can do for free. And I actually will quote this website since it looks like a good website in terms of like things to do for free. Yeah, there are 60 things to do for free here. Tracy's NewYorkLife.com. This is a great website, Tracy. I'm not sure if I know you, but it's actually a good way to see what you can do for free in New York City. So guys, check out Tracy's NewYorkLife.com. And John, there are a number of things to do here for free in New York City. Actually, John, you know what? I'm going to write back to you in an email right now. Thank you, John, for writing in. And here are a list of things to do in New York City for free. But John, if you are in New York City Monday, October 18th at 7 p.m., definitely come to the Ted Jones Comedy Show. You guys can't make it to that show, no worries. Come to the next Ted Jones Comedy Show, October 30th, a very spooky Halloween night, Saturday night, midnight. I can't wait, guys. Check the link in this YouTube video, this Spotify episode, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever the heck you guys are listening to. Rate, comment, subscribe. Always appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next week. Ted Jones out. Peace.